Hello, hello, hello. Making another Play-Doh video in light blue. So, subject is successful men and also success in general. I'll get into this a little bit later. Right now, I want to talk about people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, of course. Elon Musk is not only financially successful. Elon Musk is way out there, way shooting way out of any kind of measurement of IQ. I think that guy's IQ is like 5,000 or something. I'm not kidding. I think he is a mega genius, freakishly intelligent, like way out there, like totally, you can't compare him anymore to anyone else. And then then we have then comes a a long pause after Elon Musk. And then somewhere down on earth here, we have people like Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos. And I'm only going to mention the geniuses that also care, because I'm not even going to bother mentioning the other ones. It's not worth it, because if you don't care, you're not the subject of my videos. Okay, sorry. You have to care. So, yeah, Donald Trump cares. I know I will get thumbs down for this video again, because people jump on the bandwagon. Yeah. Whatever the media and whatever society says, they go with it. Now, Donald Trump actually cares, but the media will not portray this, because they're trying to get the public against him so that they can impeach him and get everyone on board with it. That's what they're trying to do. Because the corporate agenda really would much rather have Mike Pence, because then they can really pay him and manipulate him and pull his strings, his puppet strings, because money can do that. But they can't do that with Donald Trump. He has his own money. Okay, he's a hugely wealthy person, one of the wealthiest people in the world, and he is not bribable. He cares. Okay, when someone cares, they cannot be bribed, because they see the big picture of it. They want to help. They want to do as much helping as they can possibly do. They would never consider taking someone's bribe and catering to some terrible, terrible cause, some terrible thing. They would never do this. That was a spontaneous artistic act. So the reason why I am fascinated and just in love with successful men is because, it's obvious, women are in love with men who are providers. That's the number one thing. This is biological, okay? Admitted, it is the case with you too. Let's not pretend anything here, okay? And it's just, to me, what it says to me is that those people are not compromisers, okay? And they're not misers. They're not compromisers, they're not misers of any sort. They walk their talk, they are friendly, they are outgoing, they have confidence, they see the things for what they are, they don't kid themselves, they don't live a lie, they're not religious. And I love that. I'm fascinated with that. I think that's fantastic that those people exist. Oh my goodness, can you imagine a world where these things don't exist? I don't even want to think about it. There are societies where this doesn't exist and where people like this would be beheaded. So, no, I don't want to live in such a world where open-mindedness is met with extreme violence. I want to live in a world where we are allowed to unfold ourselves, to unfold our wildest and vastest potentials. And we all have it. We all have incredible treasures buried inside of us. But most people have built chastity belts around this and armors and castles. They have locked that away. They have locked their powers away. That's very sad. The world could be a fantastic paradise if people had not locked away their inner fantastic potentials, their creativity, their art. If they hadn't locked that away, if they wouldn't live succumbed to ideologies and ideological deceitful societies and society dogmatizations. And I see the people who are completely overrun with those societies that dictate to them, dictate into their lives. I see their misery. I see how they suffer. But they would never admit to that. They never admit to that. It's very sad. I don't know how we reach these people. But all I can do is I can try to make inspirational videos and inspire you to to buy yourself Play-Doh or buy yourself paint at the hardware store, or you can buy them on Amazon. These here, for example, that was like $3 or $4. That's about the price that you pay for a high gloss color paint in a larger amount at the hardware stores. And the consistency is even thicker in this and better for painting. Yeah, and you can paint with cotton swabs like I do, or you can You can buy foam brushes, but I used to work with foam brushes. You can buy those cheap, like at the dollar store, 99-cent store or hardware store. You can get a real large bag for a low price. And I recommend the ones made out of plastic instead of wood. You don't want to support logging anymore. Let's not support any more logging. Don't buy any more wood-based products. Buy bamboo-based products. You know, maybe they have bamboo brushes. That'd be even better. But or recycled plastic materials is good. You know, new plastic materials. It's better than wood, of course. But plastic materials in general is it's basically all sort of recycled product because it's a waste product from the petroleum industry. And if you buy plastic, you're not directly, of course, and I wouldn't say you're not supporting the oil industry in general. You're buying a waste product. That's what you're doing. So they're not drilling for oil to make plastic products. I don't know, maybe they do. They're drilling get to create gasoline. For vehicles. So, and that's why we need to get away. If you can get away from plastic materials and you buy recycled plastic materials, it is the best. And you should definitely buy an electric vehicle, electric car, electric van, or truck or bus. And you need to get a outside solar skin on that vehicle. So they're going to be making those in the future. Vehicles with a solar skin, and the vehicle will charge itself up in just a few hours in sunlight and then be able to drive on it for a week. So that we will have that in the future. So, and there'll be 100% renewable and clean and green energy. It will not hurt anyone, will not leave a carbon footprint behind for any living being. Will leave the air clean and the trees green and healthy. And I know that in LA, I'm swaying off the subject, but I always do. And I know that in LA, for example, in Beverly Hills, there's a bunch of palm trees that are dying from a fungus. But it's not just those. There are many, many, many plant species now, including oak trees, that are suffering from pollution. And they're getting all kinds of illnesses because their immune systems are not. Plants have immune systems, just like animals. And when they can't fight off any kind of fungus or a bark beetle or something like this, then how can they survive? So there's a lot of plant species affected now with things, but then people will blame it on the thing that is that the thing that's outwardly visible, like the bark beetle. They'll blame it on that, or they will blame it on the mold. But what really is the problem, the underlying problem, is that their immune systems are completely compromised by pollution, caused by pollution, pesticides, the very thing that they're then going to be using on the bark beetles and the mold. And that's how the corporate agenda works. People need to become aware about these things. So, interventions don't heal or cure anything. What cures it is if we bring the plant back to health, or the individual, the organism, the animal, the being. That's how we do it. So yeah, that was again, it's completely sidetracking. But yeah, pick up cotton swabs, that's what I do. They're really cheap. You can work really precisely with them, and you can make the most amazing things with it. So here, this is in progress. My Nabi tablet was in, and I put things in it. That's abundance, art. Art is abundance, and it's love, and it's beauty, and it's wonderful. And yeah, it's a package that I'm reusing now and making something amazing with it. And it's better than to throw it away. We would have probably recycled it, and yeah, but then a lot of things that go in the recycling facilities don't even get recycled, I heard. And so some of the stuff might be thrown away, but that should not be a reason not to recycle. We have to recycle, that's our responsibility. So, but to reuse things is even better. Reutilize things. That is even better. And not buy so much stuff all the time, not buy like loads of new clothes or loads of computers or items. Only buy what you need. That I recommend to people. People who are successful in general, men and women, of course, um, they they don't they don't think about like poor me, or they don't feel unempowered, they don't jump on a collective unempowerment bandwagon. They don't blame things on the Illuminati or whatever they blame it on. So they focus their minds on how can I make things succeed right now? How can I make things better right now? And that's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful, wonderful basis for living. How can I make things better now? Not how can I gain someone's respect, or how can I, if I dress like this, I can gain their respect, or if I make this or create this, then I gain their respect. That's right, red bar across right there, like bang. No, that's not how we do it. That needs a real loud angry sound. No way. No, you don't do things out of because someone else will give you this or that respect, or even, you know, do this to gain money. That should not be. That's a little better than how can I get their respect, but that still is not. That should not be the motivating force underneath. The motivating force is this here. This art, the creative process itself. That is the motivating force. When you do something and you feel it, and you feel it, and you love it, and you enjoy it, and you get up in the morning, or or at noon, or in the afternoon, or whenever you get up, and you have this energy, even if you don't have much energy, I don't know, because of illness or something, but you have a motivational energy, a psychological energy that gets you up And the thought of getting back into the clay or the art or the creation process. Friedrich Nietzsche praised anyone who is a creator, who is the creator of something, creating something, making something in an art process, whatever that is, in a craftsy process. You create something. It could be anything. It could be making furniture. It could be making sculptures. It could be making music. It could be writing anything, or writing computer programs even. If that is if that the outcome is positive, if it is something that's positive, that contributes to the world becoming a better place. There are people who make video games. There are few, like maybe 1 in 1,000 or something, who makes a positive video game for teenagers and kids that makes the world a better place. Like the one I mentioned before in one of my videos, that one video game where that is specifically addressed at people that are in hospitals, or hospitals trying to recover from terminal illnesses, or any kind of immune illness, including the C word. Those people and kids and teenagers, So when they use that video game, they have the ability, they have the power in that moment, and while they are basically driving that modality in the video game, that has that operates fighter cells, T cells, leukocytes, the macrophages that will get into something, and I'm sure they have real good ones now where it looks totally real, like where they have real computer animations of this is happening. So the macrophages go into they engulf the bacterium like this, and then they have the bacterium inside and they eat it, and then they grow bigger or get healthy, and then they split apart. They do cell division, anaphase, and make two of them, and then they eat more. And so to boost the immune system, to use a video game like this, it's fantastic. It's genius. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, there are some who are making video games that make the world a better place. So the real creation process is a process where we make something that enriches us, that where we can feel it in ourselves. Energetically, we feel what we're doing, whether what we're doing is making us feel better, is enriching our immune system and making the world better, and helping others as well in the same way, because we're all made out of the same materials, dogs and cows and humans and pigs, etc. So when we feel good and make something amazing that feels good to us ourselves, then we know that thing is going to be good for others as well. And even people who are completely unattuned, who are disconnected from others, they still will feel it too. You will, if you really become still, get the mind chatter out. You become still and listen into yourself. And you observe yourself and see what you're doing. See whether that feels good or tastes good or is somehow uplifting you. See whether that is doing it, or does it do the opposite. Be honest about it to yourselves And you will know, you will feel it, you will notice it. So I quit all of the toxic substances at age 25. And that was wonderful. That was right before I enrolled into TU Berlin for psychology. And that was much better because that way I was like, it was clear for me that most people in that semester would not be possible friends for me. They were ruled out right from the start because of their habits. So I didn't want to get into this anymore. I want to get out of it. So very critical point is to that you cannot continue, because when we quit something, we're still very vulnerable to these things in the beginning. Or in general too, or later on too, it's just not good to hang out with those people who are still doing these things. You have to break free from that as well. Very important. And you can't help these people by sticking with them. You're not going to help them. The only way you can help them, even if it's your own daughter, is if you give her or them an ultimatum. If you say, I see what you're doing to yourself. This is hurting me and bothering me. I cannot see it anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. I also don't want to be drawn into this anymore. So I'm going into a different direction. You can come with me or you can stay where you are. But I'm going. Okay. At some point, that's what you're going to have to do. That's what you're going to have to say to those people. It takes a lot of courage, but that's what you're going to have to do. And then you're helping yourself. And by helping yourself, you always guaranteed help others as well. You don't help people by sticking around, suffering, seeing the other person suffer, suffering with them, and all of that stuff, and you're not even helping, and you're not an inspiration to them, and you're just being seen as a party spoiler, and that doesn't feel good to you, and it's not helping them either. So the only way you help them is by breaking free. Maybe you don't help them with that, but that's no longer your problem. For a mother with a daughter, that is a very difficult thing to do. For you with your friends, it is not so difficult. It's just maybe hurting your ego a little bit or something. Or maybe it's a little bit sad if you lose this or that friend. But for a mother with a daughter, I was listening to a radio interview once, many years, like, I don't know, it was like 15 years ago or something, of parents that had a heroin addicted daughter. And I can feel their pain when they were talking to the interviewer. I could feel how horrific that must be. This is also one reason why I don't have kids. I didn't know what I was going to be doing wrong psychologically as a child. We have overpopulation, and it is extremely stressful for people to exist. And a lot of people can't make it. They go down with drugs or other substances. So I can feel their horror, their terrible struggle with that child, the daughter, which was an adult daughter, I don't know, in her 20s, and the parents totally helpless and devastated. But my message is to those people, there comes the point where you have to draw the line and you have to say, I cannot continue this anymore. This makes my life miserable and I'm not helping. I'm going in the other direction. You can come with me or you can stay where you are. And this all ties in with that subject, success. So success comes in many different colors, not just financially. True success to me is when you have come to a point in your life where you have a real passion for something, where you feel really passionate about something, and where you really pursue this. And I don't really like the word pursue. It's like where you because pursue is kind of running after something. No, where you really take it into your hands. I don't pursue this. This is already in my hands. So when you take things into your hands and when you work with it and when you are enjoying that moment, you know, I call it spa treatment. You know. So it's like, to me, the term spa treatment is a representation for me really being in the now with that what I'm doing right now in this moment. Being completely attuned and in tune and in the flow of it. And really in love with it. With my dog, with my art, with my materials, with my sewing, with Beethoven, Mozart, Bach, other composers, with the conversations by Jiddu Krishnamurti, when you really feel at home. That's spa treatment. Because spa treatment for me is the ultimate pleasure. So when I call something spa treatment, that is the highest nomination for that, whatever I am calling that. So this gets the nomination spa treatment because it is awesome and the color is spa like. Love it. Yeah, so that is to me the ultimate success, and feels bad for me to say I'm successful now because I to me, I mean, it sounds, I'm successful in the way that I'm a great mooch, So, but I'm successful in this way, so, and that always comes before financial success. That's what I'm trying to convey with these messages, is that I went into a chat room earlier and there was a woman talking, having those astrology cards, and that never made any sense to me. But there was promptly a lady in that chat on the side that said that felt totally unempowered and that was begging people for money. It's like, that's like really rock bottom, psychologically. When someone begs someone for money, that's really, 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 really bad. Any kind of internet baggery it's like really rock bottom psychologically. It's awful. It's an awful, not just that you humiliate yourselves, but the state of being, of not being in charge of your lives is not a good state to be in. It's a really, really detrimental state to be in. And that also applies to people who are covertly begging for something or covertly trying to elicit something, whatever it is that they're eliciting. They're always in this suspenseful state, in this suspended state of hope and of gambling, basically. That's what it is, A gambler is in that state of mind, where the dopamine level gets off the roof because they are winning something once in a while, but then they're losing their entire money that they have, whatever they get their SSI check, that we all pay tax into, and they go to Las Vegas and gamble it all away, and then they're on the streets begging again. the misery of that. That's such utter extreme self-sabotage to do this. Empower yourselves. That's my message. And you can do it. You don't need much of a therapy for that or any kind of help to do this. This is something that you decide to do ad hoc right now. You decide, I think I've had it with this other lifestyle. I am going to empower myself now. Right? That's what you need to do right now in this moment. I need to empower myself. So I'm not gonna sabotage myself anymore with the wrong videos, with watching someone else complaining in their misery. No, no, that does. If I made only miserable videos, it wouldn't help anyone. Once in a while, I make a miserable video because I do share whatever is there, what's going on, but I deliberately don't want to make videos where I stay stuck and glued in that, in that miserable misery, complaining about something that doesn't get us anywhere. So we have to. I cry when something is bad, and that's important to cry, yeah. And maybe it will give someone, something, some kind of energetic kinship or, you know, identification with the suffering, and maybe they feel understood by it. But let us together not stay in the rut of this misery and this complaining and this ranting and ranting and ranting about something, because that doesn't get us anywhere. So it's good to cry it out, feel it, but feel it all the way through. And don't run away from it. That's really the key, what Jiddu Krishnamurti is saying. Don't run away from whatever comes up. If you have a crush on someone like Vin Diesel or Jeff Bezos or Sam Newhouse or who else? Matt Damon. Those are the ones that I find very attractive. Or Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you have a crush on those or on others, so you can sit down with it and you can go through that feeling all the way without running away into any kind of distraction, and also without running into a hope state, into a suspended hope. Don't do it, because there's no hope. Sorry, I mean, if you happen to meet the celebrity guy, or since those, we fall in love with celebrities because they are there in the open for us all to see. I would also